Good day, everyone. This is presentation of the design research methodology. Today, I would like to introduce my research on cultural symbolism in game character design. Here is a content we overview this presentation. Start from our first part, introduction. And here is my research problem, cultural symbolism in game character design. And cultural symbolism in game includes visual elements like clothing, auditory cues like language and music, and behavioral expressions like gestures. And here is my research questions. The first one is, how does superficial cultural representation affect player engagement with game characters? And the second one is, in what ways can culturally adaptive NPC behaviors improve player immersion and satisfaction? And the second one is, how does cultural symbolism in game character design affect player connection through authentic representation? And here is my research objectives. The first one is to analyze the impact of superficial cultural representation on player engagement in game character design. The second one is to investigate the role of culturally adaptive NPC behaviors in enhanced player immersion and satisfaction. And the second one is to examine the relationship between cultural symbolism in game character design and its effect on enhancing player connection through authentic representation. And next is our second part of this presentation, critical review of three articles. The first article reviewed is a cultural model of NPCs in RPGs. This study developed a framework for creating culturally aware NPCs by integrating cultural dimensions like dignity and collectivism. The findings show that culturally grounded NPCs enhance the immersion and narrative depth in role-playing games. And this article has some strengths and weakness. The first one is strengths. The study combines Plachik's well of emotions and the big five traits with cultural dimensions, like dignity and collectivism, from forming an NPC behavior framework, successfully tested the RPG future force. And also have some weakness. This study focused on RPGs, limited its applicability to other genres and players' dynamics, requiring a broader validation, I think. And here is a second article, Influence of Cultural Symbols in Literature. This research highlighted how symbols like red roses or national flags convey emotions and foster empathy in literature. While it's focused on literature, its insights are applicable to games, demonstrating how cultural symbols enrich narratives. And also, here has some strengths and weaknesses. The first strengths, this article highlighting how cultural symbols like red roses and national flags convey emotions and rich narratives, and also have some weakness. The weakness is the article focuses on literature, limiting its relevance to games and lacks empirical data. And here is a third article reviewed its study on the influence of game on regional culture. Use Genshin Impact as a case study. This article explores how game promotes cultural exchange through participatory fan culture. And this article also has some strengths and weaknesses. This article highlights Genshin Impact as a model for cross-cultural communication, fostering cultural exchange through participatory player content. And here also have some weakness. The studies focus on one game limits the generalizability of these findings. And next is our research methodology. I choose a method is survey. The purpose is collect viewpoints from participants, and I choose a percentage. Participants is game designers and players. The method is give the closed and open-ended questions on the Google Forms, and I also content analyze, data collection and analyze. For the data collection, there has two parts. The first part is forms, and the second part is games analyzed. And the first one is for the open questions. The open questions include 5 questions. The first one, how do you perceive cultural authenticity in game character design? The second one is what may be some of the challenges in incorporating cultural narrative into character design? And the third one is, can you provide examples of games where cultural symbolism was represented effectively? What made it successful? And the fourth one is, what impact do you think spatial cultural representation has on player engagement and satisfaction? And the last one is, how do culturally adaptive NPC behaviors influence the overall gaming experience for players? And here is a sample of response summary. For the first questions, the answer is authenticity requires depth in storytelling and alignment with cultural values, not just aesthetics. The second question's answer is challenges include a lack of frameworks and superficial integration of cultural elements. The third question is Bomanarika Sura is an excellent example of effective cultural symbolism through transmedia storytelling. And the fourth question's answer is superficial representation reduces emotional connection and leads to player disengagement. And the last question answer is adaptive NPC behaviors create a deeper immersion and sense of belonging for players. And here is a data chart of the summary of open questions findings. The number of the people who mentioned superficial was higher than others. And next is the data collection of the closed question of the form. The first question is, to what extent do you believe that traditional cultural elements like clothing influence the authentics of game character designs? And we can see the people choose 3 and 4 like moderately influential and very influential are more than other. And the next question is, how important is accurate representation of cultural specific gestures and body language in game character animations? We can see the tree is the most popular choice. The most people think is moderately. And the second question is, to what degree does the use of cultural symbolism in character design affect your emotional connection with the game character? And here is the data chart. And the fourth question, how much do culturally inspired character design influence your overall gaming experience? And here also have a data chart. And the next part is game analyst. The game analyst includes Genshin Impact and Buma, Naraka, Sura, and others. Metrics evaluated. First one is depth of cultural storytelling. The second one is visual vs narrative integration of cultural elements. The key observations is first one is superficial cultural symbols for to resonate emotionally. The second one is transmedia storytelling, enhance cultural authenticity. And here is a conclusion. The research reveals that cultural symbolism significantly influence player engagement with authentic representation, fostering emotional connections. However, superficial cultural The depictions diminish emotional engagement as seen in game like Genshin Impact, which emphasize motives over meaningful storytelling. Culturally, a passive no-player character, just like NPC, behaviors were identified as a key factor in enhancing immersion, offer players deeper emotional resonance and a sense of authenticity. And the last here is my reference. Okay, thank you for your attention. That's all.